Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to show you the 4-phase underwriting approach that I use when I underwrite my deals so I can underwrite deals faster and only submit offers on the deals that really make sense. I'm also going to show you 3 different underwriting worksheets across 3 different programs. You're going to see they're all very complicated and it's very easy to spend a lot of time getting stuck doing things that you probably don't need to do, and you can figure that out early on. I'm also going to give you a quick view of my checklist I've created that helps speed up the underwriting process and actually allowed me to hire somebody to help me with underwriting. Before we get into it, if you don't know me, my name is Stephen Lee Thomas. I'm a multifamily investor and business coach, but it wasn't always like that. When I got into my first deal, I thought it was all well and great, but I figured out that I actually got myself another job. So along the way, what I had to do is I had to figure out how I was going to get out of my W-2 job and into multifamily investing. So I built processes along the way, and this is one of them I'm going to share with you today. Here is the 4 phases broken down pretty simply, but before I do that, I want to show you some of these underwriting spreadsheets that I get to see in my coaching role. The first one here, okay, so this is actually a multifamily mindset underwriting worksheet. Lots of information. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tabs here, not including this initial tab. But you know what I want to show you here with this one is there's a lot of information here to enter. You've got your basic property information, your income, your expenses. You've got some of your pro forma information, your mortgage information. So that is underwriting spreadsheet number 1. You've got to go in, and each of these are broken apart a little bit different, but there's a lot of information to put in here. And so the point I want you to understand here is it just takes a lot of time to get this information in here. Number 1, you want to get it right, but sometimes it takes a lot of time to get all this information. And let me just go through these other worksheets so you can see what I'm talking about. Here, this is the Michael Blanc version of underwriting. And let's see, we've got this page. You've got the scenario page. You've got your unit mix here. You got a summary of the deal. You got inputs here. Your P&L. You've got your, I think his goes out to 10 years. Acquisition costs, exit strategies, returns, IRR, first mortgage loan. It's just a ton of information to put into this workbook. And then the last one I want to show you is the Sumrock Analyzer. And it does have less tabs, but there's still, the information is there. You have your property information, your loan information goes here. Here somebody added a closing cost to this worksheet, and personally I've added a CapEx worksheet here. Here's your 5-year cash flow deal model, your expenses, sponsor and passive returns. So the reason why I'm showing all this to you is because there's just a lot of data to keep track of. Well, if you have to all the time on every single deal get all that information entered into your spreadsheet, you have to talk to the brokers, you've got to get updated financials, you've got to get updated rent rolls, you've got to talk to vendors, you've got to get insurance quotes, you might have to get water conservation quotes, you're going to have to talk to a property management company, you're going to have to get tax protest quotes. You have to get all this information, and then you have to get lending quotes. You've got to get all this information, and you got to at the same time do a property tour. And if you do all that effort on every single deal, you're never going to get through enough deals to find the deal that works for you. So basically what I've done here is I've set this up so that you can do a 4-phase underwriting approach. And I'll show you the checklist that I've got here in just a minute, which takes and normalizes all of this content and makes it really easy to give to someone on your team. You know, I'm going to say hire a VA if you really want to grow and scale, that can actually do a lot of this early work for you. So here's what I've done. There's these 4 phases, and phase number 1 is you don't worry about getting all of those quotes. You don't worry about bringing in property management company. You don't do any of that stuff, because what you're doing is you just take the information from the offering memorandum, the OM. So this is your trust but verify component of the underwriting. And that's early on. All you're trying to do in phase 1 is, does the deal pencil out? Does the deal make enough sense that I could likely move on to phase 2? And the way I've structured this is, and you'll see in my criteria, I have set it up so that there is basically a logical test. And I have criteria that after I'm done underwriting phase 1, does it make sense for me to move into phase 2? And the way I like to think about it is this is a target. And when I'm first looking at a deal, I just want to be able to get on the dartboard. Does it even make sense? Can I get on the dartboard? Phase 2, I'm trying to get a little bit closer. Phase 3, I want to be really close. This is where I'm getting ready before I do the property tour. And then phase 4, this is the point where I'm going to submit an offer. And it just makes it a lot easier and faster for me to go through deals. And let me explain why. So I take this, and if I've done, I still got to have enough information so that I can underwrite a deal and see what the returns look like. But if my total returns are greater than X, and remember, I'm just trying to get on the dartboard, and my cash flow is greater than X, once again, I'm trying to get on the dartboard, then I'm going to move on to phase 2. At that point, then I move on to phase 2. And this, my total returns, it's changed, over time with the debt markets, and the same as the cash flow. But maybe you just start, can you get your total returns 50 or 60% total returns in your cash flow? Maybe it's 4 or 5%, and that's it. If it's good enough, then you move to phase 2. Then when you get into phase 2, then it makes sense. Give me the rent roll. Give me the T12, give me a CoStar report. And at this point, you're going to do a high-level market survey. You're going to go on to apartments.com or something like that, and you're going to get some more information. But when you first look at a deal, I don't even know if I would trouble the broker if they've got the information, great. But the reason why I say that is because this takes time, and you're trying to get through deals quickly. So you're going to go and you're going to update your underwriting at that point. You're going to be getting closer on the dartboard here, and your total returns, it should look better. And your cash flow should look better. And if it does, then you move to phase 3. At that point, then I start going and I get a detailed market survey. I pick up the phone. I start doing phone surveys, call the apartment complexes and do those surveys. And at that point, it's also when I get vendor quotes. I don't ever get vendor quotes until I'm through these first 2 phases. I don't need to be wasting other people's time, even if they say it doesn't take them a lot of time. You know what? That's fine. I'm not going to waste your time. So at this point, once again, I'm trying to get a lot closer. Then my return should look a lot closer. By this point, I should be getting pretty close to what I want with my cash flow and my total returns. But only then would I actually schedule a property tour and decide if I'm going to submit an LOI. Because at that point, I'm going to do the property tour and we're going to get even more detailed information. I'm going to go back and I'm going to update my underwriting based on what I saw. And at this point, my total returns and cash flow needs to be really good. I'm also going to do, when I do this property tour, I'm also going to do a drive-by market survey. I'm going to actually go in and I'm going to shop those other apartment complexes in the area, and I'm going to check out the neighborhood. So this is honestly probably the fastest way I can see to do that. And the way I did it with my VA is my VA could easily do phase 1 and phase 2, and actually could even do phase 3, because you can teach them how to copy from the OM, and I'll show you my checklist here in just a minute. You can have them reach out to the brokers and get this information and make those updates, and you can set them up so they can do phone calls to do the market survey and do vendor quotes. And really, this is stuff that if you're working a full-time job, or even if multifamily is your full-time job, but you want to speed up your ability to underwrite deals, hiring someone to do this, even if they're not a VA, but someone who's junior that you can teach to do this, is a very good use of your time. And you could even pay them commission-based, or you could pay them based on the per deal they're able to analyze. But really, when you get into property tour, this is where you or one of your partners needs to be able to show up and do that. And then you bring your team together and you look and say, does this deal make sense for us? So let me walk you through my checklist I put together so that you can see what that looks like and start to get an idea how you might want to build up for yourself. All right, guys, this is my underwriting checklist. And as you can see, I've got this into 4 phases. This particular checklist aligns with the SumRock analyzer, but you could do it for any analyzer. And this is where you can actually streamline this thing and make it super valuable and easy to hand off to somebody and just really speed things up. So I'm not going to go through all these details, but I've gone through and I've put every single field that needs to have data entered into it with information about how it needs to be filled in. And you go through and create a checklist, boom, 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 go through this, you've got all the details, and at the bottom, here's your criteria. So are my total returns in phase one, is it greater than 50%? Is the average cash flow greater than 4%? Like I said, I'm just trying to get on the dartboard. If I am at that point, that's when I ask the broker for a delinquency report. And if I don't already have it, I get the rent roll, T12, CoStar, and I do my preliminary market survey. As you can see, now I take and I have turned this into a checklist as well. All of this information, get my CoStar and everything in there, and I just get it a little bit better. Are my total returns greater than 65%? Is my cash flow greater than 5%? Then from there, I get my vendor quotes. I've even got links to do where I have all my vendors information at. And then I get down here my criteria. Is it greater than 80%? Is the average cash flow greater than 5.5%? Then I schedule the property tour and I go through and I have my property tour checklist. I have my draft LOI, everything's in here. So all I'm doing is moving through these phases, and I taught somebody how to do this. And that's how, I was able to underwrite a couple hundred deals in a year, is because I wasn't doing the work myself. I had somebody on my team helping me out. All right, well, hopefully you found this video useful and you can start implementing some of these strategies right away and make your underwriting faster and more efficient. But if you're ready to get help and you want to go faster, then I encourage you to set up a one-on-one call and see if you're a good fit for my coaching program. Help you implement not only this, capital raising strategies, work management strategies, how to do standard operating procedures, and heck, even hire somebody to help you do some of this stuff so you can have some of that freedom that you're looking for. So I look forward to seeing you at a one-on-one call.